All right, you've seen the title. Let's be honest. This is something that nobody ever expected to actually happen, but it's looking like there's a chance, a small chance albeit, that we could finally see custom zombies come to console. Well, kind of more so that consoles come to custom zombies. Let me explain. A little while ago, Xbox announced their first handheld at their showcase, and they called it the Xbox Ally. Now, don't worry, this isn't the console that I'm talking about in the title of this video, but it is necessary to explain the backstory behind this handheld first, so bear with me. Now, firstly, this ain't really their console. Kind of awkward. It's quite literally a rebranded handheld already on the market sold by Asus, and it's literally got the same name. But I find it very interesting that Xbox are marketing this thing as if it's their own hardware, effectively like a new Xbox, if you will. Now, outside of literally being a reskinned, already existing handheld, one thing that Xbox are doing is they're finally adapting Windows to behave with a console-like interface with more efficient process management in an effort to directly take on SteamOS. Now, bear with me here, this does get good. This new Xbox handheld has been confirmed to run alternate storefronts, and that includes Steam. Now, this is nothing new. I mean, you can already run Steam and the workshop with custom zombies on pretty much any of the high-performance handheld PCs already on the market. But it is very, very interesting that Xbox are now adapting Windows for their own branded hardware. Now, what this basically translates to is that there's a console that's officially marketed as a new Xbox console that is going to be able to run Steam, which now leads to a very interesting follow-up question. Microsoft's next mainline Xbox console is set to be announced very, very soon, and it's no secret that Sony have absolutely dominated the high-performance console market for well over a decade. I mean, this gap, it's Xbox are cooked. They're quite literally cooked here. And this has been the case ever since they kind of comically shot themselves in the foot during the catastrophe that was the reveal of the Xbox One back in 2013. If you know, you know. Now, I think Xbox, conscious of this and conscious of this growing gap between Sony and themselves, they're now resorting to throwing previously unheard ideas into the ring, fueling changes like seeing major Xbox exclusive IPs come to other platforms, which again is something that we're seeing already. Now, in light of this, and considering that they're investing a lot of money into developing a console-like adaptation of Windows for the new handheld, would it not then make sense for this approach to be applied to their new upcoming main flagship console as well? I mean, it sounds crazy at first, but hear me out. People online are already speculating that the next generation kind of proper Xbox, if you will be running the same revised version of Windows as the handheld, as they'll very likely be running similar AMD architecture, and again, Microsoft will have invested a lot of money into adapting Windows for the console market already via their Xbox Ally. Now, if this is the case, and the next generation of Xbox runs the same software as the handheld, it would be a huge, dramatic push against Sony's dominance in the market, which is exactly what they need to do to regain significant ground. And without doubt, having a mainline Xbox console that supports running Steam will definitely achieve that. Because remember, we already know that their handheld can, and the gap between PlayStation and Xbox in this console war has been growing further and further. So pulling a move like this could be Xbox's last resort to try and win back millions of players. Naturally, if this does happen and the next generation of Xbox can run Steam, that means that custom zombies will run on those consoles, just like they already do with the handhelds already on the market. This, of course, would be massive. Something people have wanted literally ever since World at War will finally be happening, and millions of players will be able to play custom zombies experiences on Black Ops 3 without the need for a PC. Of course, we'll touch on how incredible custom zombies is and how amazing it would be if Xbox players also got to experience these incredible maps, but I'm also conscious of the fact that there's a lot of realists that watch my content, and so I feel like I ought to kind of explain in this video the kind of logistics that back the idea that this could actually happen, because of course there's still, let's face it, a major elephant in the room that might flag here before we just get our hopes up. Because having Steam be compatible with the new range of Xbox hardware is a very sharp double-edged sword. On the one hand, Xbox will definitely, for sure, sell far more units than they would do otherwise. But on the other hand, they'll be absolutely killing the Xbox storefront because everyone will just be buying games through Steam or purchasing Steam keys online for dirt cheap. So some might assume that that fact alone surely means that Xbox won't allow Steam on their main console, but I can still think of 3 reasons why they still would. 1, just like I said, Xbox would move way more hardware units by supporting Steam on their platform. 2, it would be very weird to have a mainline console appear less attractive than a handheld counterpart. I mean, we already know the Xbox Ally will support Steam, and so by not allowing their main flagship console to support it too, it kind of makes the Ally more attractive to a lot of people, which seems like a very backwards move. And 3, with the amount of studios that Xbox own, they could very easily push harder on promoting better value for their Game Pass system, enticing many more players into a subscription model approach to supplying games. And look, stemming on from that as a kind of 4th bonus point, while Steam may support older titles, again, with the sheer number of studios Xbox has acquired in recent years, they could very easily make franchises like Call of Duty and a bunch of other franchises that they own not available at launch on Steam, and thus forcing people to buy those newer games through the Xbox storefront instead, just like they used to do with games like Forza Horizon. Because don't forget, Microsoft have been heavily pushing the Xbox storefront and their Game Pass subscription model on PC too. Now I want to clarify here before I get flamed, this isn't something that I want to happen. Of course, I don't want the newer Call of Duty games to not be launched on Steam and only be launched on the Xbox store, because that sucks. That absolutely sucks. It's not what I want, but you know, when I'm making a video like this, I have to kind of take it from the angle of Microsoft. You know, these are companies that want to make money. They are effectively greedy, very greedy companies, and they've shown their true colors quite a lot recently with the amount of layoffs that they've been doing, but that's a whole other topic. But shout out to Valve, the company that owns Steam, because they're actually an exception to this. But my point is, when making a video like this, especially a video that kind of, you know, brings forward this idea that's very pro-consumer at face value, you have to kind of look at how Microsoft would benefit from it, because they wouldn't just do it out of the kindness of their hearts. They need to make bank from making a decision like this. So I'm just spitballing ideas on how this could actually realistically happen. Ultimately though, Xbox knows that PC gamers are just PC gamers. You're not going to be able to convert them onto consoles, but by allowing Xbox hardware to support the largest storefront of PC games, it's going to deal a significant blow to PlayStation's dominance in the market and really turn the tide. Now, if that is the avenue they go down, then at long last, players on Xbox will be free to enjoy the virtually endless catalog of custom maps and mods published to the Steam Workshop for Black Ops 3. Iconic maps like Leviathan, Atonement, Nightmare, and so much more will be open to millions of more players and could ultimately add further fuel to the fire that is the custom zombies community, which is just incredible to think about. And if it does happen, I've got countless top 5s locked in here on the channel showcasing the best maps and mods that this community has to offer. I mean, custom zombies for Black Ops 3 over the many years it's been going on for has evolved into just something truly incredible. I mean, you can literally change the game however you want to at this point. You can enjoy nostalgia by loading in Black Ops 2 weapons on previous maps. You can completely convert the game into like a more modern warfare-esque thing, not MWZ, don't worry. You can play the most incredible remakes and remasters of maps that haven't actually officially been reworked. And most importantly, in my opinion, you can play completely all new, fresh, original experiences. And some of those are honestly the best zombies maps ever made. And it's always pained me that such a large number of people have never been able to experience them, because of course the PC community of zombies fans is but a fragment of the wider community that is on console. And whilst it would be a shame to still have PlayStation in the dark, having at least Xbox join up within custom zombies and kind of add more fire to the community, it would be truly special. And I think more so for the developers of these maps who really want these things to be played by as many people as possible. I've spoken to a lot of map and mod developers over my years of being on YouTube, and honestly most of all these people, especially the ones that create all new, fresh, original experiences, they just want their maps to be played and enjoyed. And I think bringing millions of players to the table would just be so incredible for them and for everyone. But damn it, Xbox has got to make some bank. They got to do it in some way. So I wouldn't be surprised if any future COD release is just Xbox store only, but you know, it is what it is. Overall, it is a bit of a hopeful scenario, I will admit, but it's a very possible situation, and that to me alone is very exciting, because it could even under the right circumstances, albeit pretty unlikely, encourage Microsoft to push for new mod tools or at least a kind of creative mode on a future title. But what do you guys think? Would you buy the next generation of Xbox if it meant being able to access Black Ops 3 Custom Zombies through Steam? If so, let me know down below. But if you enjoyed this video, lads, ladies and gentlemen, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.